Really a good win for our program and our team. Happy with the way our guys handle some adversity. First and foremost, you're playing with 7 scholarship guys, and arguably your best passer, best decision maker, and best shooter not playing in these past 2 games and win 2 quality games. And then on top of that, probably your 2 leading scorers combining for 10 points in the game. And then the last time we played a team that just played 2-3 zone the whole time, it was a loss to TCU. So I'm happy with the way our guys found a way to win that game. Now, we had a comedy of errors on defensively down the stretch there. But even with all those errors we had at the defensive end, the bottom line was we were able to persevere through that because we made our free throws. You don't make your free throws down the stretch with the errors that we had on the defensive end down the stretch, you lose that ball game. So, and I thought Colin Borkert and Raquez did a great job of having a good front line while Gavin was out of there. And I thought Raquez did what I wanted him to do was on the back end in that 2-2-1 press. They had a center on him, and centers just can't guard Raquez in open space, so he just went and attacked.
Coach, talk about what was working in that 20-4 run to close out the first half. They really helped you guys kind of reverse the lead.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing on that, Paul, is like we ended the first half getting 10 of the 12 stops. And when we get stops, then we can able to run out, and you don't have to worry about the zone or what defense they're in, the 2-2-1. So when we get stops there like that, getting 10 of the last 12, I think that was a huge difference on our offense team.
How do you think about that? Sorry, that 2-minute stretch that Tyson had, where he scored all those points and took the charge. I mean, what did that change for the game?
Oh, it was huge. And for Tyson to come in the ball game when he hasn't been in the ball game that whole time, and then come in and make contributions like that really speaks volumes about Tyson as a person and being prepared. Tyson is the one guy on our team that's always in the gym working on his game, working on the shot. And so when you work like that, you're always able to come in a pressurized situation and have success. If Tyson doesn't work on his game all the time, he comes into a pressurized situation like that, he probably doesn't have success. So really pleased with the way Tyson came in and handled himself in that situation.
Rick, does he have the green light like you kind of felt?
Nobody on our team has a green light.
So that's got to go. So from your standpoint, when Tyson shoots that better go in.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but like to me, the green light is like come down and shoot it whenever you want to. To me, like those were good quality shots because he was wide open and he was like not contested. So that's different to me. Green light means come down and just jack it whenever you want to without any sort of repercussions.
What does that say about your development in a year of those kids? Because last year there wasn't guys making big shots like that, and a guy like Tyson comes off the bench and in a stretch of a couple of possessions he hits 2 free throws and then a 3-pointer, and just like that the league goes from 1 to 5.
Well, I think, you said the word development. I think that's the key to our program. I think anytime you get a young man in your program and the people around that young man want to say, hey, did my kid get better coming to Mississippi State University? And that's both on and off the court. So to me, that word development is huge. And so I want to make sure the kid, the coaching staff, the people around him felt like, hey, at the end of the day, that kid came out of Mississippi State and he grew from being a kid to a man and became a better basketball player. And I think that's what we're doing here.
That's happened a couple times now with a couple games where Chicken hadn't had a good game offensively. Gavin's been in foul trouble, but the other guys don't seem to bat an eye and just keep it rolling. How much is that development from last year?
Well, I think what you want is you don't want to have a guy. You like to have a go-to guy. And obviously Chicken is probably our go-to guy because it's the way he can attack the rim and make plays. But when that's not happening, you got to have some other guys that can make plays. And I think what you saw there was we had some other guys step up and make plays in absence of not just Chicken not scoring on the offensive end for us, but also Gavin.
Can you talk about the team's development and just handling zone on defense on offense?
Well, I don't know if we handled it great. We scored a lot of points against it, more so than we did against TCU. But we got to continue to attack. I think what was different in the TCU game is that, like, Auburn did the 2-2-1 press first, and the 2-2-1 in the first half, it was just designed to take time off the clock. And so now when you get across, you don't have a chance to set up again or flow into your zone offense. I thought in the second half they did a much better job of trying to pressure you in the 2-2-1 and trying to trap it and actually trying to get some steals and turnovers for it. So it's 2 different zones you're going against and then 2 different 2-2-1 presses you're going to do based on the half. So our guys did a great job of figuring that out. But what I told our team is we couldn't turn the ball over against this team because I don't think they pressure the basketball. They're not out in the passing lanes. And I wanted to make sure we didn't get over 10 turnovers. And we ended up with 9. So I thought that was huge for us to make sure we take care of the basketball.
Rick, you've talked about dealing with a little bit of success. Sure enough, you get down early again, but it seemed like the attitude of the kids was, well, we've done this before, we've been here before, we're good, we're fine, we're okay.
Yeah, and you know, I think the huge thing on that is, man, is like they didn't stop defending. You know, when we started off like that and we wasn't having success on the offensive end against the zone, they didn't stop defending. If you stop defending in a situation like that, you're definitely not going to win the ball game. So I thought we amped up our defense, figured some things out, and was able to get some stops, and that turned into offense for us.
Can you talk about the perimeter shooting tonight? You guys are really known for being that good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we still shot the ball well. I mean, I'm not. We were 6 of 21 from the three-point line, so I don't know if we particularly shot the ball well. But I thought we got to the free throw line, and that's where we scored a majority of our points against that zone.
You guys are, I know you're not known, kind of like he said, as an offensive team, but you're averaging 70, 72 points a game in SEC play. I mean, has that surprised you, kind of the way it's gone, and you've had some success with it?
Well, I really think this. I think our guys have bought into like who they are. We've talked about, hey, we're not a good shooting team, we're not a good three-point shooting team, but that's not the only way you score the basketball. And if you continue to attack the rim and attack the post, then you still won't have a chance to score the basketball. But our big thing is we got to get out of scoring transition and attacking transition. And when we play defense, we get an opportunity to do that. If we don't get stops, we can't run. And so the whole key to us being successful on the offensive end is for us to get stops. So I'm pretty happy with the fact that we're scoring. But I think if you really look at it, we're scoring at the free throw line and we're scoring in transition. Like our last game, Texas A&M, we had 16 points on fast break points to their 0. That's a huge difference.
I know you talk a lot about Chicken developing, but how much has he developed, I guess, mentally? Because, you know, he gets 6 points. He's been kind of frustrated, it seems, like the scoring's been down. But he utilizes that to have 8 assists and 6 rebounds. Just talk about, you know, what he's able to do without scoring the basketball.
Well, I think first and foremost for Chicken, like, he comes in every single day in practice, and you never have to get on him about working hard. I mean, there's only a few guys that I've coached in my career that, like, they come to practice every single day. You never have to say one word to them about their work ethic. Like Robbie Hummel, when I was at Purdue, was like that. He came to practice every single day. You never had to worry about his work ethic. So I think that's the biggest thing with Chick. And so when things are going wrong with Chick, he doesn't know anything else but to work. And so where the work comes in, whether it be from offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, guarding, trying to get steals, being in the 1-3-1, assisting, attacking the basket, he's still going to do those things regardless of the situation. Now, he's got to become a better defender. I mean, that's the one thing that he's got to take the next step as. He didn't do a very good job on Harrell. And so I thought Fred did a good job on Denson. But you can't have both of those guys have success against you and win. So Harrell had success, Denson didn't. And so we did that on defensively with Denson, with Fred Thomas. But Chicken's got to become a better defender for us.
Go back on the road Saturday. Just talk about how much difference it makes with Henderson coming back and playing against you as opposed to the last time.
Well, it changes their team because you got a guy who's a focal point of their offense now. And the thing that's amazing about Marshall Henderson, no matter what people think about him, he cuts so hard for 30 to 35 minutes a game. And so I tell our guys, they get exhausted. They say, Coach, I need a sub. You know, I've been chasing Marshall Henderson around. Well, I said, Marshall Henderson's doing it. He doesn't need a sub. You know, so it's really amazing the fact that he can cut that hard for 30 to 35 minutes like that and still make shots. So I think it changed the perspective of their team. And now you got a guy like Summers who is really, really a good player, but he becomes a secondary guy. So it's like pick your poison as far as like how you're going to defend him.
With the rule changes, it's so difficult now to take charges. What does Tyson do? He's taken a couple this year that allows him to get in the proper position.
Well, he knows what he's doing. I mean, that's the one thing about Tyson. Tyson comes into that game, and he knows the scouting report. He knows how to guard this guy. He knows how to rotate weak side. And so that's the biggest thing is his knowledge of the game and him picking up on it. So I think him knowing what's going on and what's coming allows him to be in good defensive position.
In the memory bank, Rick, you ever had a walk-on like Tyson that you coached in a while?
I tell you, we had a kid at Clemson named Xavier Anderson who played a lot for us, and I would say that was the only person that's comparable as far as like what Tyson has done in my career.
used the phrase persevere, talked about comedy of errors in that sense. At the same time, while developing maturing, there's got to be something inside those guys that maybe is now coming forth now that, for instance, Colin making that offhand shot there under pressure at the clock running out, or Tyson doing what he did. The guys seem to believe this year that they can make those plays.
Well, I don't want to go like cinematic here on you, but you remember in the Matrix there where like Neo went back to the phone booth and she asked like, "What is he doing?" He's like he said, like he's starting to believe. The boys are starting to believe.
Fantastic.
Rick, when you look at Chicken's game, just offensively speaking, 1 for 6, but he doesn't turn the ball over and has 8 assists. How is he able to do that and not allow the poor shooting to affect him in other ways where he maybe turns the ball over?
Yeah, I think, when it's all said and done, Mike, that's the biggest jump that Chicken has made in his game, is not turning the basketball over. Because I thought he had a lot of opportunities last year as a freshman when he got into the paint and he would turn the ball over, make bad decisions. And I think for the most part now when Chicken gets to the paint and he attacks, he doesn't turn the ball over like he did last year. So the most important thing on offense is not turning the ball over, taking care of the basketball. And I think he's made huge strides in that. And I think that's the biggest jump in his game.